Exercise 2.13. Each side of a cube is measured to be 7.203 meter. What are the total surface area and the volume of the cube to appropriate significant figures? Here we have to give the answer considering significant figures. Now the length L, that is 7.203, is having 4 significant figures. All 7203, they are all significant. Now keeping that in our mind, let us find out the surface area first. Surface area, let us say A, will be equal to 6L square here. It's a cube, so there will be 6 sides and L square, so 6L square, and so it is 6 into 7.203 whole square. The answer will be, I have already calculated that, is 311.299254 meter square. Now this is a case of multiplication because here we are multiplying L with L. Now as per the rule of multiplication, the answer should have significant figures equal to the least significant figure in the input value. Now the input value is L only. Both the times it is L only, and it is having 4 significant figures. That's why we have to reduce this answer up to 4 significant figures. Means I have to reduce this answer up to here, 4 significant figures. Obviously we have to use the rounding off method, and by rounding off method, the answer of this surface area will now become 311.3 meter square. This is the answer because this 2 will become 3 as you omit this 9. And so here is our first answer. Surface area is 311.3 meter square. Now let us find out volume. The volume of a cube is V is equal to L cube, and so it will be 7.203 all cube, and that will give us 373.714 meter square. Again here also this is a case of multiplication. L is multiplied 3 times, so we will use the law of multiplication. That means the answer should have as many significant figures, that is equal to the least significant figure in the input value, and input is only L and it is having 4 significant figures. That means we should reduce this answer up to 4 significant figures. That means I have to reduce this answer up to here, and in that case the answer is very simple. It will be volume V equals to 373.7, because when you remove this 1, there will be no change in 7, so this much meter cube is the final answer. So these are the surface area and the volume considering the appropriate significant figures. Now let us see example 2.14. A 5.74 gram of substance occupies 1.2 centimeter cube of volume. Express its density by keeping the significant figures in view. Now when we talk about density, density is mass upon volume. Mass is 5.74, that means it is having 3 significant figures, and volume is 1.2, that is only 2 significant figures. So the answer should have significant figures equal to the least value, because this is going to be a case of division. In division also we will consider the least value of significant figures, and that is 2. So we have to reduce our answer up to two significant figures. First of all, let us see what comes the answer of density. Here density, that is rho, is equal to mass upon volume is the equation. And now the mass is 5.74 and the volume you can see is 1.2. So this will give us something 4.783333 and so on. This much gram per centimeter cube. The unit is CGS here. Now we know that the least significant figure is 2, that is in 1 and 2, that is 2. So answer has to be reduced up to 2 significant figures. Means I have to reduce this answer up to 2 significant figures only. So by that I'll put the answer of density now. Density rho is equal to 4.8 gram centimeter inverse cube. Because when I remove this 8, it is larger than 5, so this 7 will be converted to 8. And so here is our answer considering significant figure, that is 4.8 gram per centimeter cube. Let us see topic 2.7.3, rules for determining the uncertainty in the results of arithmetic calculations. When we are doing some arithmetic calculations like multiplication, division, summation and so on, at that time there remains some uncertainty in the results. So that we are going to understand. Now for this we will understand the rules of uncertainty of errors in a major quantity due to arithmetic operation by the following examples. Suppose the length and the breadth of a rectangular sheet measured by a meter scale are 21.2 meter and 10.1 meter respectively. Here you should note that it is measured by a meter scale. Now the length and the breadth in this case can be written something like this. Length can be written as L is equal to 21.2 meter plus or minus 0.1 meter. Why I am putting plus or minus 0.1 meter, that I will explain. And the breadth can be written as 10.1 meter plus or minus 0.1 meter. Now how this 0.1 meter came? It is not given in the question at all. Let us see. See, the length is given as 21.2 meter. That means it is measured up to the first decimal place. You can see it is measured up to the first decimal place. That means the precision of this instrument, that means the meter scale, is having a precision of 0.1 meter only. Here also the case is same. This is also measured, breadth is also measured up to the first decimal place. That means the precision of this meter scale is also 0.1 meter. So we can say the maximum possible error is 0.1 meter in length as well as in breadth. And that's why I have written 21.2 meter plus or minus the maximum absolute error 0.1 meter. And here also 10.1 meter is the breadth plus or minus 0.1 meter. See, if the length was given something like 21.25 meter, 21.25 meter, then I can say it is measured up to the second decimal place. And so we can say the precision of the instrument is 0.01. And if precision is 0.01, then the maximum possible error is also 0.01. And so in that case I would have written here 0.01 meter. But right now it is measured up to just first decimal place, and that's why the maximum absolute error is 0.1 meter. Now this we can write again in form of percentage error. How so? Let me show you. The percentage error will be, for length I am saying, delta L upon L into 100%, that we already know. Now this 0.1 is delta L and this 21.2 is L. So putting that stuff, this is 0.1 divided by 21.1 multiplied by 100%. So this will give us 0.471 percentage or something like that, and that I can place as nearly equal to 0.5%. So the length now can be written as L is equal to 21.2 meter plus or minus 0.5%. This is again the same length, but it is in terms of percentage error. This is the true value and this is the error in percentage. The same thing we can do for breadth as well. The percentage error in breadth will be delta B upon B into 100%. So that will be, you can see, 0.1 upon 10.1 multiplied by 100%, that gives you 1%. So the percentage error is 1%, and by that now I can write the breadth B as 10.1 meter plus or minus 1%. Again, this is the true value and this is the percentage error. So we are having this length L as 21.2 meter plus or minus 0.5% and breadth B 10.1 meter plus or minus 1%. Now if we calculate the area of the sheet, then area A is, we know, length into breadth, and so I will multiply this length, that is 21.2 meter plus or minus 0.5% into 10.1 meter plus or minus 1%. So this will give us, when I will multiply this 21.2 with 10.1, I'll get something like 214.12 meter plus or minus. Now here you have to take care of one thing. See, this is percentage error, and though mathematically it is in multiplication, but we cannot multiply percentage error, because in case of multiplication we know that the relative error is added. If relative error is added, that means obviously the percentage error is also added, because relative error multiplied by 100% is percentage error. So in case of multiplication and division, relative error is added, so we can also say that percentage error is also added. That's why I have to add this to percentage error, not multiplying. I cannot multiply them, I have to add them. So adding them, this is 0.5 and this is 1. So adding them, I can write 1.5%. So this is how we can write the area, that is 214.12 meter square plus or minus 1.5%. Now this is in form of percentage error. You can see now we are knowing the percentage error in area, but we can also find out absolute error in this area from this 1.5%. Let us calculate that also. Here we have got delta A upon A into 100%, delta A upon A into 100%, that is the percentage error in area, which is 1.5%, that we already sought out. here is this 1.5%, that is the percentage error in area. So from that, absolute error in area, that is delta A, can be sought out by 1.5% multiplied by A, but A is 214.12 and divide by 100%. So this will give us something, delta A is equal to 3.2118. That is the absolute error in area. So I can write this term again, means I can write the area again in form of absolute error by saying 214 meter square plus or minus 3 only meter square. Now why I am writing this 214 only, not 214.12? Let me show you. See the length and breadth, that is 21.2 and breadth, that is 10.1. Both are having 3 significant numbers. Now as per the rule of multiplication, this is a case of multiplication. In multiplication, if we consider the significant figures, then in case of multiplication we have to take the least number of significant figures in the result. So this is the result, which is having total 5 significant figures, but we have to reduce it up to 3. That's why I have written this up to 3 only. Means I have considered only 214. Also, I have written here 3 only instead of 3.2118. This is because now the true value itself is integer. You can see it is 214. That's an integer. There is no decimal point. So writing this error now in form of decimal point is just meaningless. That's why I have rounded off this 3.2118 up to one significant figure only, and that is 3, because if you remove this 2, there will be no change in 3, and that's why it is only 3. So I have written this 3 only. So this way the final answer of area becomes 214 meter square plus or minus 3 meter square. That means the maximum error possible is 3 meter square. Now rule 1. If a set of experimental data is specified to n significant figures, a result obtained by combining the data will be valid to n significant figures. Now this is not new. We have already done all of this thing. Let us understand by example. Suppose we are having some value, let us say A. A is let us say 9.2, and suppose another value is B, that is 3.07. Now in case of addition, we are discussing about combining, so it will be addition and subtraction both. So first we will see addition. If I take A plus B, that is equal to 9.2 plus 3.07. So it will be 12.27. But now this is a case of addition, and we know in addition we have to consider the least decimal place. So here the least decimal place is the first place in 9.2. Here in 3.07 there are 2 decimal places. So in the answer we have to give the answer up to the least decimal place. So I have to reduce this answer up to first decimal place, and so the answer now will be 12.3. See, I have to remove this 7, that's why I have to add 1 in 2, so it is 12.3. Now the same way, if we take a case of subtraction of A and B, then it will be 9.2 minus 3.07. So that will be 6.13. Here it will be 6.13, and again here also I have to reduce it up to first decimal place. In summation and subtraction, we consider the decimal place and not the total number of significant figures. So I am considering the decimal place, least decimal place. So the least decimal place is first place, and so I have to reduce this answer up to 6.1, and because if I remove this 3, there will be no change in 1, so the answer will be 6.1 only. Now rule 2. The relative error of a value of number specified to significant figures depends not only on n but also on the number itself. Means the relative error does not depend only on the absolute error. It also depends on the true value. That means it also depends on the number of the measurement. That means the true value. Let us see. Suppose if we are having two lengths, let us say length L1 is, for example, 2.06 plus or minus 0.01 meter, and let us say length L2 is 8.13 plus or minus 0.01 meter. Here both are having uncertainty of 0.01 meter, you can see. That means the absolute error is 0.01 meter, means it is same. But now let us see what about the percentage error. First we will see the percentage error in L1. So you know that percentage error will be delta L1 upon L1 into 100%. So that will give us that I will get by 0.01 divided by 2.06 multiplied by 100%, and that will give us something 0.4854 percentage and so on, which I should round off up to 0.5%. You can see it can be written as 0.5%. And if I talk about L2, then the percentage error delta L2 upon L2 into 100%. That means it is 0.01 divided by 8.13 into 100%. So that gives us something 0.1230 percentage, and this we can reduce up to first decimal place, and so it will be 0.1% only. So the important fact here is that though the absolute error were same, the percentage error are not same. You can see this is 0.5% and this is 0.1%. So that was said here that the relative error and so the percentage error also not only depends on the absolute error, but it also depends on the main number, main measurement. That means on the true value whatever is there in the measurement. Now rule 3. Intermediate results in the multi-step computation should be calculated to one more significant figure in every measurement than the number of digits in the least precise measurement. See, when we are having any calculation which is having multiple steps, so there will be some intermediate steps also. So in this intermediate steps, when we consider the significant figures as per the rule what we have seen up to now, we should add one more significant figure, and according to that we should go further step by step, so we will get the perfect answer. Why it is so? Let me give you an example. Suppose we are having a periodic time, that is t is equal to 9.58 second. Remember this value, 9.58 second. Now I will find out frequency. We know that frequency is reciprocal of periodic time t. So I'll find out t, where I'll use this value of t, and then again I'll find out periodic time, capital T, which will be obviously a reciprocal of frequency. Here I'll use the above value of frequency, what we'll get as per the significant figures. Here we'll use our normal rules of significant figures and we'll see what happens. Obviously it is expected that we should get this periodic time t back. Let us do. First I'll find out the frequency f. F is 1 upon t, so it will be 1 upon 9.58. This will give us answer like 0.104384 and so on. Now this is a case of division, and here this 1 is not a measurement, it's an integer value. So it is having infinite significant figure, because this 1 can be written as 1.00000000 zeros up to infinite. So that way it is having infinite significant figures, and this 9.58 is having 3 significant figures only. So as per the rule, we should consider the least significant figures in the answer, and that is 3. So I have to reduce this answer up to here, and so the answer will be 0.104 only, because if I round it off and if I remove this 3, there will be no change in 4. So this is the answer of frequency, this many hertz. Now I'll take the periodic time t, that is 1 upon f, and so I'll put here 1 upon 0.104. See, we are having this 2-step calculation, and from the first step the answer is 0.104, and that we are putting here. So we'll get the answer as 9.61538. Again, here also the least significant figures are 3. This 104 is having 0.104 is having 3 significant figures, so I have to reduce my answer up to 3 significant figures. So up to here I have to minimize my answer, and so I'll write the answer by rounding off, that will be 9.62, because here is 5, this is 5, and this is 1, which is odd. So while removing this 5, we have to add 1 in this one, so it will be 9.62. So we'll get the answer 9.62 second. Now see what happened here. We have started from 9.58. The periodic time was 9.58, and we are getting back 9.62. So we are not getting the value from where we started. This is because we have rounded off this intermediate value up to 0.104. So that's why this rule 3 is given, that in intermediate results we should add one more significant figures. So let us do that and let us check whether we get the correct answer back. So here now I will add one more significant figure, and we'll consider into calculation. Again the same steps, f is 1 upon t, so it is 1 upon 9.58 and the answer is 0.104384. Now as per the rule we should consider 3 significant figures, but I'll add one more and I'll consider 4 significant figures. So I'll round it off up to 4 significant figure and that will be 0.1044. When I'll remove this 8, I have to add 1 in 3, so it will be 0.1044. Now I will use this value of frequency in finding the periodic time, and so it will be 1 divided by 0.1044, and using this value you will get 9.5785. And now we will round it off up to 3 significant figure, because in the very first value there were 3 significant figures. In the beginning of the calculation there were 3 significant figures. So as per the true rule of significant figures, we should get least significant figure in the answer, and that is 3. So in the final answer we will consider only 3 significant figures. Again note that this step was the intermediate step. So in intermediate step it is said that you can add one significant figure. So here we have added one significant figure, but not here, because this is going to be the final answer, and that's why the periodic time now can be written as 9.58 seconds, because when I will remove this 8, this 7 will be added by 1, and so the answer will be 9.58 seconds. You can see now we are getting the periodic time back without any change. We started from t is equal to 9.58 and we are ending at 9.58 by two-step multiplication, two-step calculation rather. We have taken this example because we know that in this type of calculation we should get the mean value back. You are taking 2 times reciprocal, so obviously you should get the mean value back, and here we are getting mean value back, but previously in this case we were not getting the mean value back. So this concludes that when we are having multiple step calculation, so obviously there will be some intermediate steps of calculation too. So in this intermediate steps of calculation we should not count only the least significant figure, but we should add one more significant figure in that intermediate calculations, and according to that we should go to the further last answer. But in that last answer we have to again follow the rule that we should consider the least significant figure, and according to that we have done this calculation and we are getting the answer.